You reap what you sow. Find out why you should plant the correct seed in your life in this episode of 5 Minutes Closer. I'm Vaughn Weatherford, and this is 5 Minutes Closer. For the next 5 minutes, let's explore some biblical truths and apply them to your life. No podcast, including this one, can transform your life or give you what you really need. Only Jesus can do that. You can find out why in what I've called the first five episodes of 5 Minutes Closer. Each following episode explores scriptural truths that, if you follow them, will bring you 5 minutes closer to the person God created you to be. Let's see if we can get you 5 minutes closer. I saw an advertisement for grass seed that touted that their seed was 95% weed-free. What are you supposed to do about the other 5%? I've had yards that, except for the weeds, they probably would have just been dirt. But for some reason, if I'm going to go to all the trouble to plant grass, I don't want to be planting 5% weeds too. Can't they figure out a way to get out all of the weed seeds? That's like buying a package of tomato seeds that's 5% carrots. You'd wait a long time for that carrot plant to make any tomatoes. When folks in the New Testament era planted a seed, they expected to grow what they had planted. When they planted grain, they expected to harvest grain, not cantaloupes. Paul uses that concept to describe the spiritual life in Galatians chapter 6, verses 7 and 8. Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatever one sows, that will he also reap. For the one who sows to his own flesh will from the flesh reap corruption, but the one who sows to the Spirit will from the Spirit reap eternal life. First, Paul tells us, don't fool yourself. We can convince ourselves of nearly anything. We are our own best audience. If we want to believe something, it's usually not too hard to convince ourselves that it's true. We may fool ourselves, but we don't fool God. The term for mock that Paul uses in this passage comes from a word that means to sneer or to turn up your nose. It was a word that was used to describe people who did not truly mean what they said, kind of the used car dealer of the New Testament era. The word also means to outwit. You may think you're getting away with your sin, Paul writes, but you're not. You don't fool God. He knows your heart. He knows what you really mean. He knows what you said under your breath. I once saw a list of hymn titles that if we actually sang what we sometimes mean, this is what they would be titled. Here's the list. I Surrender Some. I love to talk about telling the story. It is my secret what God can do. As the saints go sneaking in, just as I pretend to be. Ultimately, you can't defy God's law. You may think you can, but in the end, it can't be done. God knows what you really mean. You may think you've found a way to excuse violating God's command, but it doesn't work out that way. You may think, I can't share my faith. I don't have that gift. That sounds great. Too bad it's not in the Bible. I don't have to concern myself with the poor. I don't have that much myself. Just compare your income to the average person in most third world countries. You're rich. I don't need to pray. Well, the fact that you don't think you need to pray is a sure sign that you do need to pray. Don't fool yourself. You can't mock God. You will, on the other hand, reap what you sow. If you plant the things of this world in your life, just take a look at the list in Galatians chapter 5, verses 19 through 21, that's what you're going to get in return. Not a great life. On the other hand, if you plant the things of God, take a look at the list in Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 through 23, you will receive exactly what you're looking for. After all our attempts to break God's law, after all our striving to stay away from His will, after all our working to avoid His command, what do we have? What do we wind up with? Corruption, despair, and misery. What is the result if we seek to plant the things of God in our life? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faith, meekness, and self-control. When we plant our lives in Jesus, we have what only He can give: eternal life. Don't fool yourself. You won't find a better life anywhere else than in Jesus. And now you're 5 minutes closer. My prayer is that these 5 minutes have challenged you, inspired you, and caused you to consider applying God's message for your life from His Word. To find out more, visit our website at 5minutescloser.com. Join me next time to see if we can get you 5 minutes closer.